Amen. Keep your hands clapping. There's something about whenever God has a call on your life. And I'm often reminded of Jonah and the big whale. And when I was younger, I never could understand why he ran until I was running from him myself. And I actually had this dream probably in 2004 and 2005. And I always say, God, like my brother, not that. Come on, you can pick something else. But that is sensitive. And as I stand before you this evening, I'm reminded of one simple thing. That whatever he said in his word is a guarantee for my life. And with that being a guarantee for my life, I stand before you not only in faith, but I don't have any amount of fear as I speak what I speak. Jesus. Because you have to understand that whenever God delivers you out of something, I'm not talking about no play delivery. I'm not talking about you just walking away from it. I'm not talking about you just deleting the phone number. I'm talking about when he do a total deliverance from your mental, from your emotions, and even from the physical harm that has been done to your body, you realize that God is simply real. Amen. So I stand before you as an alumni of Voorhees College, and ironically, this is where it all started. My God. Because you have to understand, as a woman, that you have this one particular thing. We all have something in common, and that's a womb. As women, we carry a womb whether we ever have children or not. But the thing about the womb, God gave me this revelation probably 2 months ago or 3 months. And he said that there are so many women, little girls, scared. They have the maturity of age, but they're scared emotionally. They still are stuck in age 7, 13, 21, 25, 16, 7. Whenever it happened, whenever they felt the first notice of pain, whenever they felt something that was different in their body. And he said that you have so many little girls and grown women that have scar tissue on their wombs, and whatever I birth in them, they cannot birth it out because they're still struggling with the scar tissue. Yes. And what you have to understand, that just as the doctor is in the natural, God is trying to do the same thing in the spiritual. And what he is doing is actually removing the scar tissue. So yes, Jesus. I was a lesbian. Yeah. Pretty face, but still a lesbian. Yes, I was acting in the acts of homosexuality. I never forget the pain on my mother's face when she realized that the truth was the truth, and here it was, staring her in her face. Can you imagine growing up in the church? My father was a deacon. My mother was a head usher. But still yet I struggled with my identity because I was hurt to the core by someone I loved too deep. Wow. And here I was. The relationship was broken up. He and I have fought. I'm trying to run from Miss Voorhees. I'm feeling some type of way. I won Miss Voorhees, but I never felt like a queen. Can you imagine the scar tissue around my heart? So I allowed the scar tissue to develop into what I like to call a tissue of destruction. And I never dealt with the root of the issue, because you have to understand that whenever you never deal with the root of the issue, you are now catalyzed into an atmosphere where you have to deal with the issue when you really don't want to deal with the issue. Now you're an adult by age, but mentally you still 16. So what do you do? My God. Do you go through life and you put on a mask and you fake it until you make it? But I don't understand that, because I faked it so long till I never really made it. So I don't understand how people can say fake it till you make it. Yeah. So here I was, trapped, basically in the closet, because I only want the streets to know, but I never want the church to know, because I never really trusted them. Because this was tender to me, because this was something that we never dealt with in the black community, because it was taboo. And now we have people sitting in the pews that's bleeding. My God. As a woman would monthly, because they are dealing with issues that they never dealt with, because their uncle or their auntie touched them the wrong way. And now you are dealing with bleeding saints who can shout all day long and speak in tongues, but they're bleeding through the seats. And we as preachers and ministers and elders and prophets and prophetess, we have blood on our hands, because we But do we ever go home and do a visit because you realize that the lights are all off and the blinds are drawn shut and they probably never even watch their feeds until Sunday morning because they realize I got to fake it till I make it.
Oh, my God.
So here I am. Whenever God delivers you from something, whenever God truly restores you from the devastation that the enemy has set out upon your life, whenever God truly renew you to a place of restoration, whenever God truly revives what's that is in you, that he puts in you to come out for his purpose and his will, yes, you never can go back to thinking until you make it. Because you realize that all along you've been thinking it and never really made it. So when my brother asked me to come and do this testimony, I'm just like, Jesus, okay, all right. And you have to be careful what you pray for because 2 days ago I said, Lord, whatever you say, I will do. And I was bold and, brave in the prayer, and he inboxed me. I just like, oh, Jesus, okay. Then I'm reminded of the confidence that I have in him. Yes. Because what we have to do is not put a pacifier in the mouths of saints. We can no longer allow them to suck on the milk. But we have to be an example before them. And say that, yes, I too went through depression. I never forget the time when I tried to kill myself because I realized that sometimes life can be so overwhelming until they actually suck the life out of you. So yes, I tried to kill myself because I didn't feel like I deserved to be here. Have you ever been in a place where you felt that God didn't even deserve to hear your sinner's prayer? But what I like about it, that even in my darkest night, even in the midnight of my darkest nightmare, what I love about God is that he is sat back and listened. And even when I thought he wasn't listening, he still loved me enough to open my eyes the very next day and say, come on, baby, you can do this again. Come on, sweetheart, you got a little bit more into you than what you gave out yesterday. Come on, baby, you can go a little bit further. Yes. Yes. So as you stand here and you see faith, you're really seeing a miracle. Jesus. Because whenever the enemy has your mind wrapped around his finger, whenever the enemy has your mind so corrupt, when you have been brought up in the church and you know right from wrong, but you still decide to do wrong because you figure you have a right emotion to do it, you come to grips with yourself, but most of all, you come to the revelation of who God really is. So on tonight, as you sit under the sound of my voice, I just want to tell you one thing, that deliverance is truly real. God is really real. But most of all, his love for you is so awesome. Do I still have hard days? Yes, I do. I'd be alive if I tell you I didn't. But what I like about the days that seem like they're a little overwhelming, I can kind of shake it off and say, God, you brought me through that. So I can smile in confidence and say, God, no. See, you don't even deal with this right here because you brought me through this. And last time was worse than this time. So if you did that before, like Todd Trippin said, then you can do it again. Thank God right now. And what I like about this, my brother, is that he too know my story and I too know his story. But God gets all the glory. Amen. So on tonight, as you go to your destination and you drive down the road, you say, I remember that little big-eyed girl. I remember her talking about something about, her being delivered. But it's all true. Ladies, as you go to your destination on tonight, I want you to be reminded of one particular thing. Never sacrifice your wound just because you have a wound. Never sacrifice the depth of what God has placed in you just because you never dealt with the wounded issues that you have been dealing with all this time. Never sacrifice what God has put in you as a purpose because you experienced a little pain. Never sacrifice what God has called you to be just because someone called you out of your name. Never sacrifice what God has placed in you just because you felt like you was out of place. Never sacrifice. Because what you have to understand that whenever you have a wound and you never deal with those wounded issues, they become part of your life. And so you start acting out wounded actions and you start acting out and you start talking wounded, and you start believing wounded because you realize that, oh, I've been through so much, ain't nobody ever going to do this, ain't nobody. That's a wounded conversation. So never subject God to the level of what you have felt as pain. Because when he truly delivers you, not only is he cleaning up that scar tissue, not only is he delivering you mentally, physically, emotionally, but he's also restoring you. And whenever he restores you, I promise you, you will smile, and those tears of sadness will soon become tears of joy. God bless you.